Welcome everyone to the MavonX desk. I am Alan Hordoan, your host. We're recording episode number 3 tonight. And tonight we're covering a couple of topics. Topic number 1 we're going to cover is my Guinness World update. Topic number 2 we're going to cover is the mirror exploit. Topic number 3 is we're going to cover me solving the Sudoku puzzle for July 18th. Number 1, so for the Guinness World Record last week, I asked the audience, hey, tell me what you guys would do. In fact, as you guys were all surprised, I got 1 million people telling me no, 0. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. I actually looked back at how long it took to go between all the other correspondences, and it actually took them about a month, I think about a month to get back to me. So right now in that time scale for my last email, we're like week 3. So I think I have like 2 more weeks, and that's what we're going to do. Now let's go transition to the mirror exploit. And I have a couple things to show you guys that on that. We're going to transition over to my overhead camera. Below, as you guys can see, we have the puzzle of July 18th, the original puzzle. And what we're going to show today, guys, is how the mirror exploit works. I have a red expo pin in my hand, and I just want to go quickly. The mirror exploit is basically like taking a mirroring and putting it on on a side or two, and then the puzzle just goes across. So you can mirror here in red, we can mirror here, and then you can also mirror on a diagonal. Specifically, the example I have is on this diagonal. Those are the ways we can mirror, right? Let's go show one mirror at a time now. So let's go show this mirror. And here I have that mirror. As we look at the puzzles, what we can see is how they're mirrored, right? So this row, right? So this 1 is over here, right? This 9 is over there. This 6 is over here. So basically, it just mirrors this way. And as you can see, other puzzles creators in their engines use these tricks to actually just create more puzzles from a seed. Again, the original would be a seed, and this would be a thing. Now, when you look at it, you'd be like, oh, that looks like a different puzzle. It's not. Same solution, same everything. It just looks a little bit different. You would actually solve it pretty much almost in the same order because, Sudoku works by progressively doing removals and additions, right? The next mirror we're going to show is down here, is when we mirror over here, right? So just trying to fit everything on one sheet. As we can see here, this 6 is here, this 9 is there, this 2 is here, right? So then this 6 is here, this 1's there, this 4's there, this 3's there. This 7, 5, right? 7, 5, if you can see, it's right here. 9, 2, 8, 6, 9, 2, 8, 6, 3, 5, 8, 7, 9, right? So that's the mirror exploit along the bottom. Now let's do a fun one. The mirror exploit along the diagonal. So let's get the diagonal up in here. This one's a little more trickier to see, but it's still the same puzzle, right? So this mirror exploit is across this diagonal right here, right? So I'm going to draw the diagonal on both sides so you guys can see it. Here's the diagonal, if I could draw carefully, right? So you can see along the diagonal. Wow, if I could draw better, this would be better. But along this diagonal, right? The numbers are actually the same. But what you see is that the 8 flips, right? The 8 went from here to there. The 6 went from here to there. And this works all the way along the diagonal, right? So I'm just pointing out the easy one, 2 to 8, 8 to 2, right? Those flipped, right? This is easy to see how that flipped because it flipped along the diagonal 4, 2, right? From there. That is the mirror exploit. So if we look at last week, which we did the rotation exploit, this week we're doing the mirror exploit, showing you guys there. We can see that you can create a lot of puzzles off of one seed puzzle. And by the time we go through all 7 sins, I think you guys would feel a little dirty like I do after I realize this, is how many puzzles can actually be created off of just one seed puzzle by doing these rotations. Now, guys, I also created a short for this. And the short shows this in live in action, right? So we just played again. But if you guys want to see it in a different puzzle, you can see this again. So this is the short I created. And as we can see here, it's mirroring along the right side. right? And that's the mirror action for showed to you with 2 different puzzles. Now for our next segment, we're going to go into Alan solving a puzzle live, because this is, again, like we said, this is a Sudoku channel, and part of the adventure is we have to do Sudoku and solve it live. Here we have the July 8th puzzles. So I've done some updates from previous times, and what I did is to make this puzzle solving a lot faster is I wrote the tool with Claude helping me, just by the way, because Claude helped me do this, with pre-populating everything. So now all we focus on is the solve, and you don't see me place values. So let's just start here. So immediately what I could see here is there's a 1, right? That has to be a 1. Now let's go find the next clue. That has to be a 5. Let's go find the next clue. 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 5. Let's see. Maybe one of you see it. Okay. All right. So now we have to go look. 3, 9. Okay. So this, in this box here, 5's the only value that could be here. Do you guys see that? There's in none of the boxes, so that one has to be a 5. Okay. Let's see if that resolved enough so I could do it. Oh, look at that. That's a 3. Let's see here. Did that resolve enough that I could actually have another clue? Nope. We have to go find more clues. Ah, no. Look, that's a 9. That's a 3. Nice. We're making progress. This is going much faster. Okay. So let's just continue in this puzzle solving. Now, what I'm looking for right now is I'm trying... Oh, there's a 5 there. I'm looking for either... When I get to this point, usually when I can't find candidates that are easily see, I look for to see, especially an easy puzzle, is there only one candidate inside the clues? But this one's going to be easy because the 1... Oops. Undo. That should be a 1. This should be a 5. That should be a 4. That should be a 2. Okay. Now let's see. What did that do for the rest of the boxes? Okay. This one up here, I see this one should be an 8, right? Because there's no 8 ever anywhere else. So that should be an 8. And that forces that one to be a 2. You see that? So then, good. So this now becomes a 6, 7. Let's actually just check. Did I make a mistake? No mistakes so far. Well, rolling good. So next week, we're going to talk about the inner box row shuffle. I know that's a mouthful, but the name is supposed to kind of do. It's not a dance, but... the next puzzle is how the next sin is basically how they could do a row shuffle within a box, and I'll explain that to you guys next week, and they could create even more puzzles. Again, one of the key things that I want to show here is how it is extremely easy to be deceptive, right? I named, like, I know I didn't give you guys much thought about this, but I named these the 7 deadly sins of Sudoku because, like, in a way, I feel it robs solvers from, like, having quality, right? And if you know, one of the good ways to actually combat this is to make awareness, right? Because if you're aware, then you can ask the question, like, hey, how do you generate your puzzles? And that way, even if you guys don't buy my puzzles, which is fine, like, please buy my puzzles. You know, that makes me that makes me feel good and actually helps me out. You know, with this little thing, it actually makes me make better content. But you can ask it of the puzzles you get from, like, hey, how do you solve your puzzles? Do you use any of these transformation? Do you use seeds in your puzzle making, right? Because, like, that's, like, I mean, if you go buy puzzles and a guy uses seeds to create this, he's like, or he uses an online generic puzzle maker, right? More than likely, you're getting reused puzzles, right? They only probably have a couple thousand seeds, and they just create puzzles off of these seeds. And I truly don't believe in doing seeds. I believe that every puzzle should be unique. Every puzzle should be non-repeatable. And in future episodes, what I'm going to go through is my book that I wrote on how to make this on how to actually calculate what a puzzle's address is to actually calculate it. And look at that. And there, I solved it. I solved it in 443. If you looked at episode number 2 and 1, actually took me 20 minutes to solve.